Here we go. We begin with gold medal skier Lindsey Vonn, who's acting like a bad sport this week. Roll it.
How will it feel competing at an Olympic Games for a United States whose president is Donald Trump?
Well, I hope to represent the people of the United States, not the president. You know, I want to represent our country well, and I don't think there are a lot of people currently in our government that do that.
Wow. Sarah, what is the White House statement on Lindsey Vonn's comments?
Look, this is a president who was elected to represent all Americans. That's what he's focused on doing, and hopefully that's what our athletes will focus on doing. I think, frankly, those that don't want to represent our country says a lot more about their character than it does the president's. The president is very proud to represent this country. He's very proud to be an American, and hopefully all of our athletes will follow his lead and certainly, I think, show some of that pride and go over and win a lot of gold medals.
Yeah, we wish her all the best over in South Korea. Maybe she's just upset because her ex-boyfriend Tiger Woods just golfed with the president. Who knows? New video that caught my attention. Probably haven't been asked about this in the briefing room. This left-wing group claimed to be feminists are using children to attack the president. Now, there's just a warning. This is the cleanest part of the video we could find. Roll it.
Planned Parenthood, health care, and a dinner or your up hair. The Women's March shut, Women's Val can't be shut. Super talents, talks to racist, sexist, not my opponent.
Wow, I mean, these are like 9-year-old girls. Is that child abuse? That just looks disgusting to make those young girls do that.
It's absolutely outrageous. It's disgusting that people would exploit kids and that parents would allow their kids to be part of something like this. We wonder what's wrong with our culture. We wonder why we're seeing such a problem in moral high ground that we're seeing constantly from Hollywood to politics to the media, and yet we're exploiting 9-year-old kids to go out and participate in something like this. I think that starts with the parents. They should be ashamed of themselves. That's an absolutely disgusting example of exploitation of kids.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at the children because they're really not aware of what's going on. I actually feel bad for the kids that they're being forced to do this by the parents. Okay, President Obama trying to take credit for the Trump economy, and congratulations, looks like in November 228,000 jobs were added. Unemployment rate now at a 17-year low. Former president says you can thank him for that. Roll it.
We saw the longest streak of job creation in American history by far, a streak that still continues, by the way. Thanks, Obama.
And he didn't actually stop there. He compared President Trump to Hitler. Quote, "We have to tend to this garden of democracy or else things could fall apart quickly." That's what happened in Germany in the 1930s, which, despite the democracy of the Weimar Republic and centuries of high-level cultural and scientific achievements, Adolf Hitler rose to dominate. 60 million people died. So you've got to pay attention and vote. Let's just take this one step at a time because it makes me very angry. Just start with the economy first. They said the President Trump was going to crash the economy. Now it's doing really well, and they think it's Obama's credit.
I think it's laughable that President Obama thinks he has anything to do with the success of where the economy is right now. The economy was just over 1% GDP when President Trump took over, and it has just gradually gone up. We expect it is possible to hit 4% GDP by the first quarter next year. Jobs are growing. This is all a direct result, not just of President Trump swearing in, but from the minute he was elected, consumer confidence got stronger. Businesses wanted to participate in our economy again because they have confidence in this president. He's gotten rid of regulations that have allowed them to create jobs, that have allowed our economy to grow. There's a reason that it continues to go up, and it started when President Trump was elected and when he got into office. It had nothing to do with President Obama, and I think everybody knows it, including President Obama, and I think it's pretty laughable that he's trying to take credit for it.
And this was probably, I think, the best month all time for manufacturing jobs. So that's something that every American can be proud of.
Yeah, it's interesting that after 8 years of him having, struggles, once President Trump comes into office, all of a sudden the activity that he did for 8 years is now working. I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad logic.
He timed it perfectly. Now, so this comparison to Adolf Hitler really sickens me. You know, I thought more of President Obama. I didn't think he'd stoop to that low. I think he's probably bitter because his legacy is being dismantled. But to compare, you know, someone, you know, your colleague, there's only a few people that hold that position. To compare him to a genocidal war criminal is just disgusting.
It's very surprising. I'm with you. I wouldn't have thought that President Obama would have gone that direction. Certainly something I don't think that any of us would have expected. Hopefully he'll see the damage a comment like that makes and withdraw that type of comparison. Not only is it an outrageous comment to make, but it's just completely factually untrue and just very inaccurate. And so hopefully the president will see that and President Obama will withdraw that comment.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Jesse. Merry Christmas.
After a slew of violent left-wing protests popped up across the country, the FBI has now officially launched an investigation surrounding Antifa. Ground zero for Antifa, UC Berkeley, where the former president of the College Republicans is suing Antifa activist Yvette Filarca, who was caught on tape randomly hitting an opposing protester. Watch this.
Are these people getting good? We don't have a speech. You need to go, boy. Hey, say we should be nice. Be nice. Come here now.
Off our street! Off our street!
You, sir, please. I'm just here to protest.
Off our street!
Please, up. Stand down. Get out. Get back.
Wow. Troy Warden joins me now. All right, Troy. So do you think Antifa is a real threat to civil society, or do you think they're just a bunch of crusty losers looking for the next revolution?
Thank you for having me on, Jesse. Let me tell you something. UC Berkeley is the #1 most dangerous campus for conservative students to attend. And this is why. People like Yvette Filarca, who have been arrested twice in this past year for inciting a riot and resisting arrest, are now using the legal system. They are abusing the justice system for unjust purposes. She is a 47-year-old. She is not a student at this campus, and she had put a temporary restraining order against me, a 22-year-old with no criminal record, for the sole purpose of stifling my right to free speech and also prohibiting me from possibly even owning a firearm. So it's not just now.
All right,
we're
so
not being
she's
attacked
basically using
anymore.
the legal system to fight you because, you know, she probably can't beat you up. She looks like she's about 5'1". She's 47. She's twice your age. But are you scared of Antifa around that neck of the woods? Do they frighten you?
Absolutely. These people are willing to go out and destroy our private property and also punch us. But the dangerous thing is they're now using the legal system to intimidate us.
Now, I want your reaction to some of these other things that are happening on college campus. Holy Cross Catholic University, they are now doing away with their mascot, which they've had for many, many years, the Crusader, because the Crusader might offend Muslims. I didn't know there were any Muslims going to Holy Cross. That's news to me. Do you think that's a good idea, Troy?
Well, first they came for Confederate monuments, and now they're coming for school mascots. The only crusaders here are the social justice warriors who think anything that's fun or traditional is an act of racism. I think that these people should turn it into a learning experience.
All right, now lastly, there's a new poll out, and I think this puts everything into perspective here. 2% of young Americans think the term snowflake is unfair. And 74% of them think snowflake will have a negative effect on their mental health. So calling someone a snowflake can hurt their mental health. Doesn't that just say everything?
You know what? I have been called much worse. I would actually wish that people would call me a snowflake instead of attacking me online or physically or destroying my private property. I wish. So I tell these people, you know what? Treat us with respect, toughen up, and, you know, you'll be fine.
All right, Troy.